Man, I tell people, watch this Eddie Murphy documentary on Netflix because I think it's something powerful hearing this. First of all, we don't get a lot of people. A lot of people haven't survived enough to tell their own story. And the only reason he can do that is because of decisions he made.
Yeah.
And so hearing this legend who's done things to open up so many doors for so many people who lost a lot of people too because he saw people, a lot of them cats that's legends to us, they all came up at the same time.
Yeah.
You think about the 80s and the 90s is when we started seeing black people thrive. And Eddie met all of those people and saw people come and go. He saw people self-destruct. So it's really, I don't know, this is, the last few weeks has been very interesting. Just, I got a chance to meet Eddie and he said something to me that I'm still processing, but.
What did he say?
Man, so Eddie Murphy is the reason why I do this. I don't do this without watching Delirious. And then Keenen Ivory Wayans with Living Color, and then Robert Townsend with Partners in Crime. But those three guys are just, so imagine, I meet Keenen Ivory Wayans when I do the Living Color reboot. I was casted on that, and that's a whole crazy, great story, but I got a chance to be with one of my heroes who handpicked me, and that's crazy. People don't know I wrote a show called Name Your Adventure. They used to come on NBC when I was like 8 or 9 to be on that show to meet Keenen Ivory Wayans and be on Living Color. Everybody else was writing adventures to surf and do stuff. I was like, I want to be on Living Color. And the first letter I was got to understand how TV works, they was like, here, young man, keep dreaming because the show was canceled, so we can't name your adventure.
We can't hook that up.
I'm like, damn, cancel? What that mean? My dad explained to me, but that couldn't happen. But then I ended up meeting him, you know what I'm saying? And then at the comedy show in LA one day, Robert Townsend literally on Hollywood Boulevard, because he was leaving the show, that's where the show was at, that theater. And he was like, man, you're hysterical. That's one of my heroes. And I got a chance to be friends with Robert now, you know what I mean? And then I went to the Eddie Murphy premiere for the documentary. And look, I've been to other premieres with Eddie, but, we never met, so I didn't expect anything. But, and then it's crazy because I was trying to wait till the next day to watch the documentary that came out that midnight. I woke up like the Beat It video. You remember Michael Jackson got up in the bed like this? I got up at 12:30. I got to watch this documentary. I couldn't even sleep. And so I watched it before, we had to go to the premiere the next day. And so I was excited to see it again, but I was like blown away by it. And when the premiere was over, I guess Eddie had just came from the bathroom to go back to his seat to maybe grab his wife and family and stuff. So, but he was standing there, so people was walking out, so he kind of couldn't move, so he was just shaking everybody's hand as they was leaving. And I was like, oh man, I'm getting closer to Eddie Murphy. And I had wifey's hand. I'm like, oh my God, am I about to meet Eddie Murphy? And I get to him and I shake his hand like, man, that was great. He's like, thank you, brother. And I don't think he knew I was. I was okay with that. I was like, hey, man, that's fine. I got my handshake. And then Rich, who is Eddie's cousin, saw me like, what's up, Lil Rel? And he's like, Lil Rel, man, you are funny, man. You are so funny. And I was like, I whispered to the wifey, like, I got to go out of here before I start crying.
So, that's like Michael Jordan telling you you're good at basketball.
But that's part one of that.
Oh, okay.
That was enough for me. I could have went home, but she's like, yo, let's go to the after thing. And I was like, all right, cool. We go to the after party. And she's like, oh, Eddie's over there. I'm like, hey, he don't usually come to these things. And I was like, let's just walk over that way. And so we kind of walking towards there. And then he was like, hey, man, I'm serious. I said, serious about what? You're hilarious, man. You're funny. And you're a great actor. So I'm just staring at him like, what? Because I didn't expect to hear my hero even know who I'm still I honestly, it's hard for me to tell the story because I'm still like emotionally processing this. Like every time I probably teared up about 4 or 5 times in the last 6 days. Like, but it's like, that is legitimately the style of comedy I do. And a lot of people are like, I'm an Eddie Murphy fan. No. See, the way Kobe studied Michael and did all that craziness, which I used to think Kobe was crazy because I was a Michael Jordan fan. Like, who is this young dude trying to be exactly like Michael Jordan? He got the celebrations and everything. This is insane. But I'm like that with Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch my specials, the way I format how to tell a joke, it's based off Delirious. It's explain what the scenario is, and instead of just telling the story, you act out every character in that story. And that is how I do stand-up. That's exactly, I do it exactly that way. And so there's a lot of very specific things I've done over time because of my heroes that nobody know intentionally that I did. So when he said that to me, and then he repeated it, because after that I was like, well, brother, if it wasn't for you, he's like, no. It ain't got nothing to do with me. You're a great comic. You're a great actor, man. And I was like, so the whole time, it's like a little video of me just kind of like being awkward. The rest of the time, like,
Are you normally good with compliments?
Yeah, I'm good. Well, sometimes. I mean, sometimes
I'm terrible with compliments. I'm very bad at
people
it.
could be kind of, because you don't know if it's genuine sometimes unless you start having until you start telling me a real fact about myself, then I'm like, oh, okay,
But
you
if
really
you
watched
don't
it.
think that's a real fact about yourself, then you might not receive
Well,
it.
it might be like if you say you like my acting, I want you to tell me what you like me in to believe it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like if I walked up to you a couple of times like, man, I love what you do, and then we just start talking sports, and I'm asking you questions not knowing. I just want to hear you give me your take in person. Like, oh, this is good.
Like, she really got these takes.
Just get ready to take that. There we go. That's what I love. And so, it's because I'm a fan of people. And if I say that, I mean it. So I love to be like, this is what I saw you. I love you with this. Da. And so for Eddie to say that and the way he said it, it was like, it put another battery in my back, first of all. And it was just full circle. And I'm a man of faith. So it's just like, man, God, you're so intentional. Because I did not expect any of that night. I was just happy that I was invited. I'm invited to stuff all the time, but that was different to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like Michael Jordan saying that you're good at basketball.
Yes.
Like, some people, especially younger people, do not understand who Eddie Murphy is. Like, if you haven't seen those stand-ups, if you didn't know how powerful Eddie was at that time, like, this is the equivalent.
I was obsessed.
Like, everyone thinks it's Chappelle, and obviously,
it's generational, right?
It is, but that's why I'm saying it's Jordan.
Eddie is, and you know what's crazy? He's a part of that. Like Eddie, Michael Jordan, all of them in the early 80s.
Yeah.
Magic, Eddie Murphy is a part of all that craziness.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
and we talk about, look, I used to.
But I would liken Chappelle to LeBron and Eddie to Jordan.
That's 100% that. Which is why I'm Kobe. I don't care what nobody says. I know y'all got y'all fans who y'all fans are. Rewatch my specials someday and see exactly how I did that.
Did that do something? Did him saying that to you do something for your? And I know you're still processing it because it's just happened, but did it do something for your imposter syndrome?
It's funny, I was already in this great place I am. I mean, I told you the last few years, I really worked on myself. Like, this is the happiest I've ever been in my life. I'm so happy. I mean, like, it's a reflection on, just everything I did. I did mind, body, and spirit. I really worked on everything. And so it was really confirmation watching the documentary that I was on the right path. And I'm like, oh, I get it now. Because once again, I was just talking to my hero, Robert Townsend, the other day. I literally talked to him about meeting Eddie Murphy. And I'm like, do y'all understand? Like, I said, Robert, for real, though. If y'all didn't exist, you three, my heroes, Keenan, Eddie, Robert, it's a lot of things that wouldn't have happened. It's a lot of people that we wouldn't even been introduced to.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Robert. Always rushed me off the phone, and I love being on the phone. Sometimes we be on the phone for like an hour and a half, and he's telling me these stories. He's like, "Oh man, get some sleep." I'm like, "I ain't gotta go to sleep. You can literally keep telling me these stories," because it's really fascinating how all of them was a part of this thing, man.
They influenced generations of people,
and it's not just in the field. The field they in was just how they started.
Yeah.
It was influential to everything.
Well, pop culture, to movies, comedy to
We don't get a
art,
halftime show
music.
without A Living Color.
Yep.
The Super Bowl halftime show would not be what it is if it wasn't for A Living Color. And Living Color stole those ratings. The next year they had Michael Jackson.